Hi, welcome to another episode of Adtastic. I'm your host, Tony Stanall, and today we're excited to be talking with Kent Lewis from Anvil. Thanks for joining us, Kent, and welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sure. And now I understand you have some news that you're getting some press for. Why don't you tell us a little about that news?
Sure. Yeah. So I founded Anvil, my day job, digital marketing agency, back in October of 2000. And last month, March 1st, I sold, I merged with an agency out of the Midwest called Dexia. But for all intents and purposes, by summertime, I will have no direct reports, no direct management responsibilities for the first time in 22 years. And I'm just going to be chief marketing officer. And I really look forward to focusing. They want me to speak and write and do things like this. So I love to do this, have always done it. And now I get to do it for a paycheck and not have all the stress of running an agency.
Great. Now, having run an agency, tell me some of the things that you learned along the way, whether it's a cautionary tale or tips for other CEOs, presidents, people who run organizations.
Yeah. So I actually wrote an article. I'm part of the entrepreneur organization EO, have been since '07. It's definitely helped me grow the business in a profitable and useful way, and grow my life holistically. But they often offer, hey, if you publish, write us something, submit it, and we'll add it to our newsletter. And they liked it so much they decided to leverage the partnership with Inc. Magazine to publish my 5 lessons or 5 strategies. And I'm happy to share those now, and just know that I am not an M&A expert. And one of my pet peeves is when one of my friends or associates in the advertising and marketing agency world sells, and they're like, let me know if you want any consulting, because one sale makes them an expert. And I have friends that have bought and sold 10 agencies or businesses, non-agency businesses, that would never dream to be experts. So I am one of those. I am not an expert, but I am going to share my experience and hope it helps others. I'm also not going to go for the obvious things like maximize your profit, maximize your revenue, use stronger contracts with your customers. That's all very, in my mind, very obvious. But the first lesson I learned the hard way, because I've had 24 conversations over the last 20 years with potential acquirers, and the money gets in the way. Basically, you get starry eyes and you get distracted. And I think what gets missed is the idea of finding an ideal partner. So my number one recommendation or strategy is define your ideal partner so you know who they are when you see them. And so if you define them before you start talking to potential acquirers, it's more authentic when you make the connection. There's a longer story there we don't have time for on how I transitioned from my wife was a client, then we started dating, and now we have 2 kids, been married 17 years. But I had already identified my ideal life partner. And because she was a client, I didn't look at her that way. And then as I got to know her better, she checked off every box. So that's how that works. So far, so good. In the partnership, I was looking for a partner that had a similar culture. I went to the 11th hour in a deal 4 years ago that I walked away from because I did the numbers first and didn't spend the time on the culture first. And it wasn't a good fit. And I'm glad for both of us that we didn't do it. And conversely, this partnership with Dexia, we talked for a year and a half, basically. And, for a year, we just kept in light touch, decided, we like each other, but we're not ready. And then 6 months ago, they said, we're ready. We talked. I met their entire team. We did one of their quarterly retreats. I joined them. I realized these are my people. And it made the rest of the discussion very easy. So defining the partner can save a lot of pain. Conversely, I was just having beverages with a friend of mine this week who sold his a digital agency, a traditional ad agency in Seattle, and it went very, very wrong. That agency was a $15 million agency at its peak, and within 2.5 years of him doing the deal, he quit 18 months later, and the company was out of business 6 months after that. So 15 million in billings down to 0. There were obviously bigger problems, but he suffered.
We're running. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, Ken.
Out of time.
I'd love to hear the other lessons learned. So book another segment, man. This is interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are taking
Yeah, no
great
problem.
value from it. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, the good
Well,
news is I covered it all anyway.
Cool. Thanks for coming today, and have yourself a good weekend.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Adtastic. To find out more about Kent Lewis and what he's up to next, go to dailyadbrief.com. See you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.